Hello, Flosstube. Welcome to my channel where I talk about cross stitch, sometimes books, sometimes other random things. I am Heather. I am the 20-minute stitcher. I'm so happy that you are here with me today. Today is Sunday, February 12th, 2023, and this is episode number 35. Y'all, February, I'm coming up on my 1-year Flosstube anniversary. I started my channel at the end of February in 2022. So I am closing in on 1 year. I'm also closing in on 1,000 subscribers, which blows my mind. I think when I checked before I started filming, I was at 984. Boggles my mind that there are that many people in the world who are interested enough to subscribe, even if they never watch me again, but they subscribed. So yay! If you are new here, welcome. I hope that you will like what you see, that you will choose to subscribe. Maybe you'll be that 1,000th subscriber. How awesome would that be? I guess I'll have to start thinking about if I want to do anything special or fun for my 1-year anniversary and or 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. Let me know in the comments what you might like to see from me. If you have questions you want me to answer, if you want me to do, no, I'm not going to offer some sort of extravaganza. I don't have the time for that. But I'm happy to do something special. I really would love to commemorate my 1 year of doing this. This has been, without getting into too long of a story, there were some personal reasons that I chose to start my Flosstube channel, to put myself out there, to engage in something that I love. And what I feel has been the little piece of myself that I've put out in the world, I feel has been returned 20-fold by this amazing community. So if you are new to this community, jump in feed first, because I think on the whole, we're pretty amazing. And I think you'll find some great people here. I know I sure have. So if you're new here, welcome. I hope you'll like what you'll see and that you'll subscribe and stick around and come back again. For those of you who are coming back for the second or the third or the 34th time, welcome. I'm always so happy to have you here. So I don't have a whole lot, well, let me rephrase that. I don't have a whole lot of sort of non-stitchy stuff to talk about this week. I've done actually really well these past couple of weeks with my no buy until market rule, although I'm about to break it, right? Because obviously almost all of the market releases are out in terms of the previews. We know what's coming. I'm starting my wish list. In fact, I think for my next video, which will be pretty much on my 1-year anniversary, I think I'm going to share my market wish list. Katie, the novel stitcher, plans to do that with her next video, or maybe it's a special video she's going to record. I don't remember, but I thought that was a cool idea. So I think I'll probably end up doing the same. But I only have one thing that I've purchased. So my acquisition section of my video will be very short today. I have no new starts, no finishes, no FFOs. So nothing exciting there. It's all whips. I've been really focused on my whips. My work has been exhausting lately. And so I've barely had the energy to read. I've barely had the energy to do much of anything else. I have stitched and I have been playing Legend of Zelda. If I'm not at work, those are the two things that I'm doing, and hanging out with my kids. So I do have a fair amount of progress on, I think, 6 different whips to share. So let's just jump right into it. So the whips that I'm working on are part of a couple of different things. So I have my 2 calls for Whip Go. And then this weekend, so the 11th and the 12th, although some of us I know started on Friday night, the 10th, the Stitch Your Stash group that was started by Sweetwater Stitcher and Fanciful Flamingo is doing a 6 and 6 this weekend. So the basic rule is you pick 6 projects, either 6 whips, 6 new starts, or combination of the 2, and you work on them each for 1 hour over the course of the weekend. Though you could also pick 1 project and work on it for 6 hours, 2 projects for 3 hours each. Yeah, you get the idea. Some combination of 6 hours of stitching on 1 or 6 projects or anywhere in between. So I did choose 6 whips to focus on, including my 2 Whip Go whips. And so that's what I have to show you. And I've really just been sort of focused on the same set of projects since my last video. So let's just jump right in. So the first project I have to show you is my one of my Whip Go calls for February, and it is the it's out of the Fall Crazy booklet from Lizzie Kate, and it is this one here, In All Things Give Thanks. Where's my finger? There it is. In All Things Give Thanks is what I am working on. And I am 99% sure I have met my goal on this now. So my goal was to stitch on it for 10 days. And I'm pretty sure if I haven't hit 10 days already, then like the next time I pick it up will be day 10. And here is where I am at with this one now. So the last time I shared this, I just had to finish up a little bit of the border on the turkey. And so the finished border on the turkey and then everything on the pumpkin over here is what I have added since my last video. So I've made good progress on this. It's a small pattern. It stitches fairly quickly. And so that is where I'm at with this. I am stitching this on a 28 count Lugana in, I always forget what the color is. Actually, I don't think it has a color name. I think it just says hand dyed. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not a Lugana. It's a Jobelin. It's a 28 count Jobelin in the color Thyme, T-H-Y-M-E, like the herb or herb, depending on where you're from. And I am stitching this in hand with all of the called for DMC. And that is where I am at. So this one, so all of my Whip Go projects are only on my board once. So I have 25 different projects. So I don't know when I'll pick this one up again or if I'll keep working on it in February. But for now, this one, like I said, is either only needs one more day or is done. So that is In All Things Give Thanks by Lizzie Kate. And then my second Whip Go call for February was my Cats of Disney Stitch Along by Abbie Designs. And a quick update on this one. I know in my last video I was talking about how when I checked my Whip Go board to see what had been called and saw that this was one of the ones that had been called, I wasn't excited about it and stopped to ask myself, like, why? Why wasn't I excited about it? And came to the realization that I just wasn't excited about stitching all 20 of the cats that are part of the pattern. And I'll put the picture up on the screen here so you can see. And so I was talking in my last video about maybe paring it down some. And I did. I went through it and I decided to cut it down to just 12 cats. And of course now I don't remember what the 12 were. I know it's Tigger, Simba, Bagheera, Mr. Tibbs, Dinah, Oliver. These are not in the right order and I'm going to miss some. I'm not going to try and remember them all off the top of my head. But I did decide I'm just going to stitch 12 of the 20 cats. It's still a lot, but you know, I kind of tried to pare it down more from the 12 and I just couldn't. I was like, oh, but I like these cats. So, so I think I'm going to do 3 rows of 4, to get to my 12. And, so yeah, so that is, what I decided on that one. And so then I got started on my Whip Go goal, which was to stitch 1 cat, right? To finish 1 cat. And so the next cat on the pattern is Simba. And I hadn't started him yet. And so this is where I have gotten to on him. So it's starting to look like a cat, maybe a little bit. Yeah, so I'm making pretty good progress on him. The colors are very simple. There's not a whole lot of color change. I feel pretty confident about, especially since I'm, like I said, 99% sure I'm done with my Lizzie Kate call. I'll be focusing on this one next. Very confident that I'll be able to finish this goal in February. And I know I said in my last video too, I think I'm going to take this out and move it closer. I don't know why they're so far away. I don't know. Or maybe just take them out entirely. I know who they are. So maybe I don't even need their names. We'll see. I'll have to think about that one. Don't have to make a decision on that yet. I'll just need to make that decision before I start on the second row, I guess. So that is my progress on Cats of Disney by Abbie Designs. And that is just being stitched on a 28 count Jobelin. I don't even know if it has I'm sure it has a color name, but I don't know what it is. It was just in my stash. And so that is that one. Then I continue to work on Hive Rules, which I know I've mentioned in the past. This is my model stitch that I am doing for Brandy of Bestitch Me. And this is the pattern by Primrose Cottage Stitches, Hive Rules. And my sort of initial intention is when I finish my Whip Go goals, this becomes my focus project. And I'm trying to get sort of one, I'm calling them bands, right? But like, that's a band, that's a band, that's a band, right? You know, sort of trying to get one of these done a month so that I can get this back to Brandy. I've already had it for several months. She's being very generous in the amount of time she's giving us to get these things stitched for her. But I don't want to take the full time she's allowing us. So this is my focus piece when I finish my Whip Go goals. It's pretty much the only thing I'm going to stitch on the rest of the month. I had hoped to get the second band done in January, the Be Sweet Like Honey. I didn't. So quick life update. I think, had I told you, had I already been diagnosed with strep the last time I talked to you? Yes, I think I had. And I was recovering from strep throat. Well, then on February 1st, both my parents and my daughter came down with COVID. The rest of us managed to avoid it, fortunately. But yeah, so the end of January, there just wasn't a lot of stitching happening. So I didn't finish it, but I have made progress. So I finished up the honey jar, except for the body of the bee. His little wings are in there, but his body isn't there. And then I have obviously the Y for honey. So this one, so now I guess I've shifted back a month, right? Like my goal is to finish this in February, this band, and to get a good start on the next band. I would love to get to a point where maybe I can essentially finish 2 bands in a month and kind of get myself back on track to be done with this by like May. So we'll see. But this is on a 40 count even weave in the color Honey, dyed by Stitch Me. And I'm stitching this with all of the called for DMC flosses. And I love the way it looks. I love it, love it, love it. I don't know if I'll want to stitch it again, like once I finish this and ship it back to Brandy for her shop. But it sure is fun to stitch. I really like it. So that is Hive Rules. And this, I did get this out this weekend as part of the 6 and 6. So everything that I'm going to show today, I worked on as part of the 6 and 6 as well. So I worked on my Whip Go calls, and then these other 4 patterns I also worked on as part of the 6 and 6. So that was Hive Rules. The next one was one of my new starts in my last video. And I did find a picture of the pattern on the designer's Etsy shop. So I will put a picture of that up on the screen. This is the Cute But Dangerous Ewoks pattern that came in my Fangirl Fibers Ewoks a New Year mystery box, it was an Ewoks mystery box. And it was a new start. Last time I showed it to you, I think I only had kind of most of the word dangerous stitched. And y'all, I have made lots of good progress on this. The word dangerous is done. The first of the 2 Ewoks is done, except for the back stitching. And then I have the word butt there. So there's a mirror image Ewok on this side. And then at the top is the word cute in a kind of a cutesy little script. The little needle minder came in the box. I mean, seriously, it's so cute. And the pattern calls for all DMC, but the mystery box had these beautiful silks included in the box. And I did a conversion because I wanted to use, this is only one of the colors, because I wanted to use these silks that came with I'm not going to unwind all of them. You know, I wanted to use these silks that came with the box. So I did a conversion using these silks. Not all of the silks, because there was also a really deep green. There were a couple colors that came in the box that just didn't fit in the pattern, but the ones that did, so I used them for the Ewok's belly and face and ears. I used a mix of the Yub Nub and Ewokese. And for dangerous, I used the color Wicket to get that nice variegation down there. And then his fur and his little gauntlets are gloves. His little hood thing. I am stitching with 2 of the Threadworks flosses that I got in the sort of Threadworks mystery pack from Top Knot Stitcher Shop. So I am using, our colors don't have names. So I'm using, it says 343 on the back. So I am using this orange for the hood. And this really cool variegated brown I am using for, this is color 351. I'm using for the body. And it's a little striated, right? It's not necessarily super blended, but I'm happy with it. It works, right? It looks like he's just a stripy fur Ewok. But I'm really happy with the orange. The DMC called for was a very, very, very bright orange. Like Denver Bronco orange, if you're familiar with NFL colors. And I feel like in the movie, Wicket's hood and pretty much all of the Ewoks' hoods were more natural colored. So I like this orange a lot. I really like how it turned out. So that is cute but dangerous. This stitches up so fast and it's so fun and it's so adorable. So yeah, so that is that one. And I'll just put it all away later. The next one I worked on as part of my 6 and 6 was Ohio from Threadmilk Designs, part of their Statehood Splendor series. This was the one I started this. I don't even remember when I started. I guess I started it for the Ohio State-Michigan game back in November, and I've been kind of chipping away at it here and there, mostly during Ohio State games. Since then, Ohio State football is over for now, but I did decide to get this out as part of my 6 and 6. And here's where I am at now with this pattern. I am not using the called for color on this. It calls for Country Redwood by Gentle Arts. I just pulled a red from Stash, and I believe it is Turkish Red from Weeks Dye Works. Yeah, Turkish Red from Weeks Dye Works that I just had in my stash from years and years ago. And I am almost done. Which is kind of funny because I realize this is also on my Whip Go board, and I may finish it before it gets called. But whatever, it's fine. I'll just be done with it already and pick something else, or just only have one Whip Go call that month. Because all I have left is the rest of this wheat stalk, which I'm pretty sure that's what this is a wheat stalk. I don't know. Looks like, could be a flour, could be wheat. I don't know. We have wheat on our state seal, so that's why I assumed it's wheat, but maybe it isn't. Either way, whatever this thing is, I have this to finish, and then the word God, and then it will be done. So I am stitching this on a 32 count Lugana from Bestitch Me. I am part of her Fabric of the Month Club. I believe this one was called Sand Dollar. And usually on 32 count, I stitch with 2 strands of floss, but I really liked kind of the simpler, more primitive look of 1 strand for this pattern. So I am stitching this with just 1 strand of floss. So that is Ohio by Threadmilk Designs. And then my last whip that I have worked on in the last 2 weeks, and that I also worked on as part of 6 and 6. I will put a picture of it up on the screen. It is the Caterpillar Cross Stitch British Isles Adventure Stitch Along. So this is a 6-month stitch along. At the end of, I think on the 26th of each month, a new part will be released. So on January 26th, part 1 was released, which is what is up on the screen. And I am probably a little more than halfway done. So this is where I am at now. So the last time I showed this to you, I pretty much had just the kilt done, and that was it. Maybe a little bit of Black Bull Tower here. So I have added, I finished the Isle of Man, I finished the kilt, including sort of the border here, finished Black Bull Tower. I almost have the fish and chips done. There's just white that goes in the basket here that I haven't stitched yet. And this is the Angel of the North. I have the black part of it all stitched, and now I'm just going in and filling in with the brown. And so there are, once I finish Angel of the North, there are 3 motifs left. There is Edinburgh Castle up here. There is a lobster out here in the water over here. Or is the lobster over here? There's a lobster in the water somewhere. I forget which side he's on. He's on this side. There's a lobster in the water. And then down here is, I forget what it's called. It's a tower. It is all that is left standing of Castle of York, I believe. So I'll have 3 motifs left once I finish Angel of the North. I'm hoping to get this. I really, really want to stay caught up on this stitch along. So I'm really hoping, I'm really going to work to finish these last 3.5 motifs before February 26th when part 2 comes out. So that is all of my progress on my whips. hope you enjoyed that. And I'm hopeful that, I feel like what's going to happen, right? I feel like I've not had very many finishes. I had one finish at the very beginning of the year, and then it's been all whips and new starts since then. But I feel like so many of these whips are ones that I'm close on, right? So I'm hoping maybe at some point in the not too distant future, I'll be like, I have like 3 finishes for you today. Won't that be exciting? But anyway, so that's all my whips. Would love to hear which one's your favorite, what you're working on. And then the last thing I have for you today, as I mentioned, is just a little tiny bit of acquisitions. I have been really trying to stick to, I shouldn't say trying, I've been doing a pretty good job of sticking to my no buy till market, sort of self-imposed practice. I did, in my last video, shared that I purchased those 2 patterns from Stone Street Stitchworks because they had been unavailable for forever, and she reopened her Etsy shop for a limited time, so I snagged those up. And then the one acquisition I have for this video is Abbie at Top Knot Stitcher was doing flash sales, I think pretty much every Friday in January. And one of the last ones was on patterns involving birds, and it was either 15% off or 20% off patterns. So I did take advantage of the sale, and I did purchase Bald Eagle. That was part of the Year in the Woods series from Cottage Garden Samplings. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was wrong. This was on my wish list, and I thought, well, if I can save a couple bucks on the pattern, I may as well. You know, that's worth breaking my rule for if I can save some money. So I did purchase Bald Eagle. I think he's gorgeous. I think he's stunning. I want to start him right away, but I won't because, you guys, I didn't think it would happen. Flosstube enables me. It enables all of us, I know. But I ran out of project bags. And of course, I have my no buy rule going on, so I'm not letting myself buy more. And I keep saying I'm going to learn how to sew one, but like with what time? And I told myself I can't start new projects if I don't have a project bag to put them in. And I have a couple of projects kitted up in bags that I haven't started yet, that I almost took out so that I could start some other ones. But I felt like that was cheating. It's not like they're a cross stitch police, right? But you know, the games we play with ourselves and our minds to like, for our hobby and craft. So anyway, my one acquisition, the Bald Eagle. I'll probably cave and start him before too much longer. So yeah, so that is, that's what I have going on these 2 weeks. My plans are just to keep working on my Whip Go calls. Well, I guess because like I said, I'm 99% sure I'm done with my Lizzie Caitlin, that I've met that goal. So I'll be finishing Simba on my Cats at Disney, and I'll be working to complete the first part of the British Isles Adventures Stitch Along. Those will definitely be my 2 focus pieces, and then Hive Rules as well. And that's what I'll be working on the next couple of weeks. I am traveling for work this week, so I'm not entirely sure. I'm not someone who can stitch on planes. I wish I could, because I'm flying all the way out to the West Coast. So like I'm going to be on a plane for 3.5 hours. Wouldn't it be great? But I've never really been able to. I feel like it's just, even with the small patterns, it's just, I don't know, it's too much. So I usually just read or sleep on planes. But so I'm not sure how much stitching I'll get in, because I have a very full schedule where I'm traveling the days that I'm there. So my stitching time will be somewhat limited, but I am getting to see my cousin, who I have not seen. I think it is probably not exaggerating to say it has been 15 years since I have seen him. The last time I saw him, he was single. He is now married with 2 children. So I am going to get to meet his spouse and his children for the first time. And I'm so excited. So yeah. That's all I got for you today, friends. This is a shorter video. I'm getting closer to being back to my 20-minute length, which is where I'm supposed to be, right? That's why I'm the 20-minute stitcher. One of the reasons why I'm the 20-minute stitcher. So I hope all of you are doing well. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, how about an airplane emoji in the comments? And again, would love to hear from you about if there's anything special you'd like to see for my 1-year Flosstube anniversary and or 1,000 subscribers celebration, anything you want to know about me, my stitching, anything you'd like to see from my channel. And I am also thinking I might do I shouldn't say might, I'm 90% sure. I'm really heavily leaning toward recording my regular Flosstube video 2 weeks from now, but then also doing a Stitch With Me live in celebration of my 1 year anniversary. So stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already. I'll post there, and I'll post here on YouTube as well, a date and time for that. I haven't figured out yet when I'm going to do that. So I got to figure out kids' schedules and all that other nonsense for that weekend before I can settle on a time. But that is my plan. So yeah, play an emoji in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're stitching, and I'll sign off as I always do. Take care of yourselves, hug your loved ones, and happy stitching. See you next time, everyone. Bye.